Hi everybody, it's me, Corey T, and in this video we're going to be talking about living in the end, or living in the state of the wish fulfilled, which I'm sure you have heard about so many times. And in this video we're going to talk about the secret to actually being able to live in the end, to make it so much easier for yourself so that you can enjoy it and really immerse yourself in your imagination, because everything that we want to create starts in the mind, and I really do believe that that's true. And in fact, I know that so many things that I have imagined in my mind and so many experiences that I've given myself through my imagination have actually happened. I have literally lists of examples of where this is true, where I've imagined something, immersed myself in it, and then it's happened one way or another. Maybe not exactly the same, because actually that takes out the surprise for us, doesn't it? If we could just imagine something exactly as it's going to be and then it turns up just like that, I mean, there'd be no surprise to life. So actually there's usually some kind of variation, but in essence, the thing that I'm experiencing in real life has many times been something that I cultivated and experienced beforehand in my mind. So I really believe in living in the end. But quite often what I hear or see are videos online where a coach is saying, right, what you need to do is you just need to get into the state of the wish fulfilled. And okay, that's all well and good, but there's a little bit of missing information, which is that if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling very negative, if you're feeling very needy, and if you're feeling in this state of lack, and you're feeling that in your body, it's really difficult for you to be able to live in the end. Because remember that your body informs your mind. This is why I talk about body-based manifestation all the time, or why I've started talking about it a lot more now. Because it's so true. Our body and our nervous system is informing our mind. So if you are feeling really anxious, or you're feeling in lack, or you're feeling really sad and you're thinking, right, I just got to live in the end, I just got to get into the state of the wish fulfilled, you're basically covering up the feelings that want to be felt and want to be released and want to be expressed. And once you release them, you will naturally, and I mean naturally, be in the state of the wish fulfilled, because you will naturally be like, I'm okay, everything's okay, I don't need this thing so much, I'm not desperate for it, and I trust that my life is unfolding perfectly, and therefore you're in the present moment, and in the present moment everything is okay. And that is being in the state of the wish fulfilled. And yes, from there, it is much easier for you to imagine amazing, great, beautiful things, and for you to live in that and imagine it and daydream and have fun with it without trying to cover up all this muck of what's in your body. So what we've got to do for you to be able to actually live in the end effectively is for you to be in your body. Okay, so what this means is sitting sometimes with discomfort. And I know that this can sound really counterintuitive, because you don't want to manifest the feelings that you've got in your body. They won't manifest because you're doing this with awareness. You're doing this with self-love and self-compassion. And the knowing that actually you're doing this because you are allowing yourself to feel and process what you're feeling in your body. If you're feeling rejected in your body and you've got a trauma response in your body of rejection or not feeling good enough, and then you're using your mind to try and get rid of this feeling, it might work temporarily, but actually you're not actually going to be living in the end, because you're just trying desperately to get rid of, get away from, remove this feeling, this bad feeling. It's not bad. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling, and it just wants to be felt and loved by you. So this is where letting go comes in, right? This is where we learn to let go, to feel, release, and let go of the muck that we've been carrying for a really long time. So if you want to learn more in depth about this, after this video, I've got a 2-hour workshop coming up on Saturday, and it's going to be really powerful. I'm going to be doing exercises with you to show you how to do this, and we're going to be releasing in that session, and we're going to be feeling, so that you have the actual tools to be able to do this whenever you need to do it. Now, this isn't a process that you just do once and then you think, right, I've released it now, so That's it. This is an ongoing journey. This is nervous system regulation, right? And when we're doing this, we're going to be doing this all our lives. But there's probably at the moment a lot of stuff that's been in there for a really long time. And so when you first start doing this, it can feel really overwhelming. It can feel like you actually feel worse before you feel better, which is why lots of people don't want to do it. But I'm telling you that once you actually start to connect to your body and you actually allow yourself to process what has been unprocessed, maybe even since childhood, you are literally going to free up so much space. So I have a coach who I love called Hannah, and she tells me it like this, you know, if we've grown up with trauma and lots of things that have happened, we add a pebble to the jar, right? So there's this water in the jar and we're adding the pebbles to the jar. Every time something happens, we've got another pebble, another pebble of stress, another feeling that we've repressed, another one of these things, and they just add up and add up and add up. So the flow in our body is really constricted. And so as we allow ourselves to feel and process and express these feelings in whatever way the body wants to express them, and that can be through going for a run, through punching the air, through punching a pillow, through screaming, silent screaming, whatever it is, talking to a friend, writing it down, whatever you want to do to move the energy in your body. And I talk about this all the time in my courses, in the Conscious Creation Masters Academy. We literally do this for weeks on end so that you get to actually learn how to create the habit of releasing in your body, because it has to be a practice. Okay, and if you can commit to this, if you can actually commit to, right, I'm going to make it a new practice that I am going to regulate my nervous system. That's going to be one of my number one priorities, is self-regulation. And self-regulation means releasing, basically. It means you're releasing the feelings that come up that want to be expressed, no matter how big or scary they might be. And a lot of people do feel really uncomfortable with this because it's so new. Because what happens is that whenever we are young and we don't get to express what we're feeling, and we don't have that safe space and the safe container to do that, what we learn to do is go up into our heads. So when we're in our heads and we're overthinking and we're analysing and we're stuck in freeze and we can't move because we're overanalyzing, actually we're in the sympathetic nervous system. And we know that we're in the sympathetic nervous system when we're overthinking, right? So we know that, okay, I'm not actually regulated if I'm overthinking. And if I'm in my head and if I'm trying to get away from this feeling, I'm trying to get rid of it. And trust me, I know how uncomfortable it can be to be overthinking and to feel anxiety. Anxiety in your body is really difficult to sit with. Often you actually don't need to sit with it. You can get up and move around. That's a better idea than sitting there and lying there with an uncomfortable sensation. What I do when I feel anxious and it's nighttime and I'm in bed and I can't sleep, so I'll just get up. I'll be like, right, I can see that I'm in my head and I can feel this uncomfortable sensation. So I've got to get up and I've got to start moving my body. I might walk around the house. I might even go into the garden. I've done that before, trust me, in the middle of the night. And move the body, okay? So this is what we need to learn to do. So in essence, the message of this story is that once you go through the uncomfortable feeling and it is processed, so you've got a feeling and it wants to complete the circle, but often what we do is we go, oh no, that's too difficult, I can't feel that, I'm going to do something else, I'm going to go into my head and I'm going to think about this, and we don't allow ourselves to feel the feeling. And so we don't get to complete the circle. The feeling just wants to be completed in whatever way that is, okay? It's going to be different for everybody. And it can take some guidance to be able to learn how to do this. It's new. It's a new thing that you're learning to do. So it can take time, and at first it can feel really messy because your younger self will go, no, I don't want to feel this, is this too much? And then your higher self will say, but it's okay, I'm with you. And it can feel like this battle of, I don't want to feel this, what if I manifest this? That's one of the most common questions I get asked. Like, how can I know that I'm not going to manifest this feeling and these thoughts as I'm feeling them? Because the body's informing the mind, and when you're feeling dysregulated, you'll have all sorts of negative thoughts. You just to not take them seriously. Honestly, like, the only power they have is when you give them meaning, and that's it. If you don't give them meaning, if you can recognize, okay, I'm dysregulated, therefore my thoughts are going to be negative. Therefore, I don't need to take them seriously. That's it. And I know that in the moment when you're in it and you're like surrounded by negative thoughts and feelings, it can be really hard to do, because part of the negative thoughts and feelings is that you can't access the part of you that's like, this is okay, it's okay, it's okay. But trust me, it is okay. You don't need to worry about having negative thoughts and feelings. You are going to have negative thoughts and feelings. It is part of the process. It's literally part of being human. And the idea with living in the end is not to live in the end all the time. That's the other thing I wanted to say as well. I used to think, when I was learning about this, I used to think, how can I like go about my day living in the end all the time? And I used to feel bad and guilty when I wasn't, when I was having negative thoughts, or I wasn't feeling like my partner was my partner, or I wasn't feeling like we were together now and it was all done. And I wasn't, and I took it really far. I used to basically literally pretend to people that I was with my specific person when he wasn't even speaking to me. And I used to really take it to an extreme, which is actually not what it is what's meant. Living in the end is a regulated, calm state where you're not in need or lack, and you are just trusting and allowing. And you can only truly get there when you have released the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being chosen, the fear of not being good enough, and all of this stuff, and the fear of not getting this thing that you want. So once you release those feelings and you release those fears, it's easy to actually just be in a state of peace and presence. So this is what I'm going to be talking about in my workshop on Saturday. It's so powerful, because from that state of living in the end, from that state of presence and from that state of trust, it's true. Things come to you. Things come to you so much more naturally, so much more easily, and so much more freely. And I remember when me and Johnny started speaking again after not speaking for a really long time, and I remember the anxiety that I felt at first. I remember thinking, what's he doing? Why hasn't he messaged me for 3 days? Like, what's going on? And the clutching and the when's he going to message me again feeling, and it was horrible. And I remember what happened when I let myself feel that, actually let myself have a massive cry. And then I let myself say, look, we're either going to be together now or we're not. And either we're going to be together, now, or we're going to be together in 5 years' time, or who knows when the next time will be. But it's either now or it's not. And I'm going to be fine either way. If it's not now, then I'm not going to make it mean anything about me. And I'm just going to trust that whatever is right is going to come to me. I'm not going to miss anything that's meant for me. So I'm just going to allow it. And I just went, okay, universe, hand it over to you. And I released it. And then we started speaking more and more. And then suddenly we're together again really quickly. So I'm not saying that that is the exact process for everyone, but that is basically an example of how, I let go in essence and became okay with either it happening or not happening there and then, which, by the way, I know is hard. It's hard to let go of that, because when you're in that state of, but I want it. And so we have to look at that. We have to look at, why do you think that this thing is so important now? Why do you need it to happen now? Because that's attachment and not love. Okay? When you're in love, when you're in unconditional love, you're accepting, you're trusting, you're knowing, you know your worth. You're not worried about the when or the how. You just trust. You trust, and you love the person from wherever you are and wherever they are in their life, and you can send them loving energy, and you can accept what is. And that is being in an unconditional state. You can give love. Right? You can give love, you can send that love to them, and it can feel good to you, not bad, because you're giving it like a gift, this energy of love to this person, trusting that that it's going to come back to you at some point in some form. It's going to come back to you, and you're loving to love, because love feels better than fear. Love is better than fear. So again, we're choosing love over fear, like I've said in my last videos. So I hope this video is resonating with you. What I really don't want people to do is walk around all day, every day, like I did, for a while thinking, oh my God, I'm not living in the end. The fact of the matter is, it's impossible to live in the end all the time. The other thing is that living in the end does not mean that you 100% believe that it's going to happen. It means that you have experienced the state of being able to imagine it having happened and imagining that it's happening, right? You can experience that state in your nervous system because you're regulated, because you've released, because you've let go of those feelings and you've got rid of the muck, and then what's left there is purity and love and trust, right? So when you're in that state, it's just an experience that you can enjoy and create in your mind, like a happy daydream. But it doesn't mean that you 100% believe, because you can't. You can't do it. You're human. You don't have, and I don't have, the ability to fortune tell. I mean, I know some people think they do, but in my opinion, we don't have the ability to absolutely, with 100% certainty, know that this thing is going to happen. So you need to take that pressure off yourself. You just need to enjoy the experiences of your imagination and release and regulate your emotions so that you can be in a more positive state. And trust that your life is unfolding perfectly for you. But it's unrealistic to walk around all the time ignoring your reality and pretending that it's not happening, because you are gaslighting yourself and you're not experiencing or allowing yourself to experience the feelings that want to be felt. Right? So this is why I think the body-based manifestation is so important. So I hope that this has made sense to you. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments below. And if you would like some one-to-one coaching, then let me know. I've got my 1 hour slots are open now, and 4 hours and 8 hours and 12 hours, whatever you feel is supportive for you. And I've got my course coming up on the 29th, not my course, my workshop on the 29th. And next month, there's going to be a new enrollment of the Conscious Creators Masters Academy, which is my favourite thing. So if you would like to know more about that, then I'm going to be doing some more information about that soon, and you can find it on my website as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.